Listen up. If you want to learn how to sell anything to anyone, you've got to understand one thing first. Selling is not about tricking people. It's not about smooth talk. It's about certainty. People don't buy the best product. People buy the product that is sold to them with the most conviction. You think Apple has the best phones in the world? No, they've just convinced the marketplace that they are the only choice. Confidence sells. Energy sells. Now, when you're in front of someone, your job is not to get them to like you. It's to get them to trust you. And trust doesn't come from talking too much. It comes from asking the right questions, shutting up, and listening. You sell anything to anyone when you understand what problem they need solved. Nobody wakes up wanting a new car, a new house, or a new service. They wake up with a problem. They wake up saying, I need to feel safer. I need to make more money. I need to save time. I need to be respected. Your job is to show them how your product answers that problem. Certainty and conviction are the real currency in sales. People don't always choose the best product or the cheapest option. They choose the one presented with the highest level of confidence. Think about it. When you walk into a store or sit down across from a salesperson, you're not just listening to their words. You're feeling their energy. If they hesitate, if they doubt themselves, if they lack conviction, you immediately question the value of what they're offering. But when someone speaks with absolute certainty, when their tone, their body language, and their eyes communicate total belief, you start to lean in. You start to trust. You start to believe that if they're this convinced, maybe they know something you don't. That's why certainty sells more than logic. If you want to sell anything to anyone, you've got to sell yourself first on your product. You've got to believe so deeply in what you're offering that no objection, no hesitation, and no resistance can shake you. People are drawn to leaders, not doubters. When you walk into a room with conviction, you set the tone. If you're unsure, the buyer will be unsure. If you're all in, the buyer feels safe to go all in too. That's how influence works. It's transferred belief. The question is, do you have enough belief in what you're selling to pass it on to someone else? Now, let's get real. Conviction doesn't mean being arrogant or pushy. It means being unshakable. It means knowing that what you're offering can solve problems, create opportunities, and make someone's life better. When you radiate that kind of certainty, people don't feel pressured. They feel reassured. They see you as the authority. They see you as someone they can trust. And in a marketplace full of noise and competitors, trust is what separates closers from amateurs. Every single day, you are selling something, your ideas, your vision, your services, or your products. If you don't show conviction, someone else will. People want to follow certainty. They want to buy confidence. And they will always choose the person who sounds and feels the most convinced. So stop questioning yourself, stop selling halfway, and stop showing up with doubt. Train yourself, study your product, rehearse your pitch, and build that unshakable belief. Because when you show up with total conviction, you don't just make a sale, you make people feel certain about themselves. And that, right there, is how you sell anything to anyone. Selling is not about throwing a fancy pitch or talking endlessly about features. It's about solving problems. People don't wake up thinking about your product. They wake up thinking about their problems. They're asking themselves, how do I save more time? How do I make more money? How do I feel safer? How do I improve my life? If you walk into a sales conversation and start bragging about how amazing your product is without connecting it to the customer's pain, you've already lost. People don't care about you, your company, or your product. They care about themselves and what matters to them. The secret to selling anything to anyone is learning to tie your product directly to their problem and position it as the solution they've been waiting for. To do that, you must ask the right questions. You've got to dig. You've got to find out what keeps them up at night. When you ask a buyer, what's your biggest challenge right now? And then truly listen, they will give you the blueprint to closing them. Every answer they give is a clue. Every pain point they reveal is a door for you to walk through with your solution. That's why listening is more powerful than talking in sales. When you listen, you gain the information you need to connect your product to their deepest need. Here's the truth: people don't buy products. They buy better versions of themselves. A person doesn't buy a car. They buy freedom, status, and security. They don't buy a gym membership. They buy confidence, energy, and self-respect. They don't buy a financial service. They buy peace of mind and a future they can count on. Your job is to translate your product into the outcome they want. When you do that, you're no longer selling, you're serving. And when objections come up, remember they're never really about the product. It's too expensive means I don't see enough value yet. I need to think about it means you haven't fully connected this to my problem. Every objection is simply a sign that you need to go deeper into solving their needs. That's where real salespeople thrive. So stop pitching and start solving. The one who understands the customer the best is the one who closes the deal. When you show them you get their problems and you have the solution, you're not pushing, they're pulling. That's the power of selling through solving. Objections are not barriers. They are opportunities. Every time a customer says it's too expensive, I need more time, or they're not shutting you down, they're opening a door. Most salespeople panic when they hear objections. They freeze back away, or worse, they accept the excuse and walk out empty-handed. But the truth is, objections are signals that the buyer is engaged. If they weren't interested, they wouldn't even bother giving you an excuse. They just walk away. So instead of fearing objections, you need to embrace them, because inside every objection is the reason to close. When someone tells you it's too expensive, the amateur salesperson agrees and gives up. But the closer flips it. The closer says, exactly. It's expensive because it's valuable. And that's why you need it. If price is the only thing holding you back, then this is the exact solution you should be investing in. That's conviction. That's confidence. People don't want to be talked out of their concerns. They want someone to show them a new perspective. Objections aren't rejection. They're just smoke screens for uncertainty. And your job is to clear the smoke. Think of objections as invitations. When a customer says, I need to think about it, what they're really saying is, you haven't given me enough certainty yet. That's your chance to dig deeper. Ask questions like, what part do you need to think about? Or what would make you feel confident moving forward right now? These questions pull the real issue into the light. Once the real issue is on the table, you can handle it directly. That's how professionals close deals, by turning excuses into opportunities. Here's the reality. If you truly believe your product or service can improve someone's life, then letting them walk away with an objection is selfish. You're not helping them by giving up. You're hurting them because you're allowing fear or hesitation to hold them back from a solution. Flipping objections is not about manipulation. It's about leadership. It's about guiding people past their doubts toward a better decision for themselves. So don't run from objections. Chase them down. Every objection is a green light in disguise. The moment you learn to reframe excuses into reasons to buy, you'll stop losing sales and start closing them. Objections aren't walls. They're stepping stones. And the salesperson who embraces them is the one who wins every single time.